Or central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, are they evil? The final step into the brave new world, Orwellian Great Reset dystopia that we seem to be heading inevitably, inextricably towards? Or are they the on-ramp, or as we British call it, the slip road to the Bitcoin motorway? And the answer is both. The big issue with CBDCs is that the money is programmable. That means that the issuer can build certain rules into it. If I have a £10 note in my hand, I'm free to do pretty much what I like with it. I can put the money towards buying a house, I can give it to a beggar, I can buy booze and fags with it, or I can go to some shady part of town and buy weed. What's more, if I want to keep what I spend that money unto myself, if I want privacy in other words, I can have it. Cash grants its user with freedom. It grants its user with power. Freedom is a power. When you start using banks, you lose a certain amount of that freedom. In exchange for that loss of freedom, you get convenience. You can now safely store, receive, and send over distance large amounts of money. On the other hand, the bank sets the terms of the relationship, and it knows exactly how much money you've spent and received, and exactly what it was spent on and who it was received from. You lose your privacy, in other words. Any large sums, the bank will usually question. It can limit how much you send in a day, and in some cases prevent you sending and receiving money altogether to and from Bitcoin exchanges, for example. Programmable money, CBDCs, means that you, the user, have even less control over your money. Pretty much anything can be coded into a CBDC. China is looking at expiry dates in its CBDCs, for example. You have to spend the money by a certain time or it expires. Perhaps there's a national crisis which requires, according to the central planners, a boost of consumer spending, so an expiry gets implemented. Harsh on those who would rather save, but this is a national crisis. Money velocity can be manipulated by changing expiry dates. It could be arranged that the money won't work in certain retailers or on certain products or in certain jurisdictions. Every transaction ever made will be visible to and traceable by the all-seeing government, and should Big Brother choose to watch, he will see all. It's likely that in some jurisdictions, other bodies will have direct access to your wallet for the removal of taxes, for example. Imagine the headache you'll have retrieving money that's yours when the wrong amount was removed without your permission. Different rates of interest can be granted to different users. Perhaps you're wealthy, and in the same way that you're in the higher tax threshold, you might get put in the negative interest rate threshold. Or, even worse, monetary policy can actually be linked to your social rating as well as your credit rating. If a user has a high social credit score, if they do and say the right things, in other words, they might qualify for a more generous interest rate, or they might receive higher levels of UBI. And in the same way that the US freezes enemies, Iran or North Korea, for example, out of the international financial system through a process known as dollar weaponization, so will the same possibility exist for enemies of the state at home. I'm not saying this will happen, but I'm saying that programmable money opens up the possibility. A government can pre-program the types of loans banks can give out. Perhaps it will be coded that loans can only be made on a certain type of eco-house or something, on a certain type of business. As you can see, all sorts of scope is opened up for Orwellian levels of economic intervention in the economy. Money, like taxes are today, will be used to control and shape behaviour. And in exchange for getting its CBDC over the line, a government might promise that this or that intervention will never happen. But promises get broken, different governments get elected, and at times of crisis, such as a global pandemic, all of the rules go out of the window. You can't, however, uninvent a technology. Once it's there, it gets used. CBDCs are inevitable. 9 in 10 central banks are already working on CBDCs. They're coming. It's a question of when, not if. Benevolent governments with respect for freedom will take a more laissez-faire approach. The authoritarians will use CBDCs as a means to implement their designs. And there will be unintended consequences galore, loopholes galore. There always are. Who knows what the counterfeiters will make of it all? Bitcoin fixes many things, and perhaps it fixes this great reset as well, because crypto provides alternatives. Those alternatives mean competition, and that competition should keep CBDCs that suffer from overreach and mission creep in check. What's more, once ordinary consumers start getting the hang of central bank digital wallets, the use of wallets and peer-to-peer money will be normalized. And right there is your slit road, your on-ramp into Bitcoin. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and I'll be back with another video very soon. Until then, cheerio.
This is Ecclesiastes 4, chapter 4 and verse 1. So I return to consider all the oppressions that are done under the sun, and behold the tears of such as were oppressed, and they had no comforter. And on the side of their oppressors there was power, but they had no comforter. Giving all praises and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders and the apostles at Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect who's pushing this word in all sincerity and all truth throughout the four corners of the earth. And I didn't know what I was going to title this, but I'm going to title it He Shall See All. Okay. And as you can see, the construct is being built. This matrix is at its last end. And all of this has come down to control. I was having a discussion with somebody today about how in this particular country, and a lot of other countries too, that they mandated they had a constitution set up to put everybody under the guise that you were living free. Okay. But we know that we didn't. When we came here, we really didn't come here for no American dream. We came here through the transatlantic slave trade, through the curses. But now this is he gonna cause all small and great to receive a mark on their hand, and yeah, he sees all, he wants full control, and as always, according to scripture, he wants to be like the Most High. This is Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 1. The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because thy heart is lifted up, thou hast said, I am a God, I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas. Yet thou art a man and not a God. Though thou set thy heart as the heart of God, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. Yeah, he sees all, as he says, with thy wisdom and with thine understanding thou hast gotten riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thy heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because thou hast set thy heart as the heart of God. Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the seas. Wilt thou yet say before him that slayeth thee, I am a God? But thou shalt be a man, and no God, in the hand of him that slayeth thee. And this whole system is coming through the left-hand side. This is left-hand magic. And if you go further into this, and it talks about the king of the king, which is the spiritual demon Satan. They're being deceived on the left-hand side. They get their power from the left-hand side, but the Most High set this up. This is a trap and a snare to them. And they actually think that they're going to win, but they're not. This man is not spiritual at all. With all that he's gotten, you would think that, well, the main elites know. They know that their time is coming up, and this place is going to be destroyed. Like he said, he's going to send the terrible of nations against thee. You know, when they're about to complete what they call their new world order. This is Revelation chapter 18 and verse 23. And the light of the candle shall no more at all in thee, and the light of the candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridge room and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by their sorceries were all nations deceived. Okay. And now that this word has come back, no, you can't deceive. Well, at least the elect is not going to be deceived, you know. But just wanted to go into this word real quick. Word sorceries, you know. Well, it has many uses. The use of administering of drugs, which is witchcraft too. But you go in sorcery, magical arts, often found in connection with idolatry and fostered by it. Metaphor, the deceptions and seductions of idolatry. And a lot of that is filtered through their marketing and promotion, you know. It's always something seductive and appealing, pursuing all the way back to Genesis, when Eve was given the tree of knowledge. You know, all these things look like they're for your benefit, but they're not. And now they're setting up a system of control where you won't even be able to buy nothing without them knowing it, and let alone you're going to have to. It look like it's going to be some kind of behavioral modification, social credit system on how they think you should live your life, you know. And we here, you know, we at the door, you know. It's getting closer and closer, so you know, we just gotta hang in there, keep the faith in Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, because we already know how this is going to end, you know. So I pray that you've been edified. With that, I'll say shalom.